Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world. So Midday News on Global Television coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agumofwegbe. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nightcomsat. Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court in Abuja has remanded 10 anti-bad governance protesters in prison. The judge remanded 9 male protesters in Kuje prison, while a female protester was remanded in Suleja. Sharon Ajay has details.
The court has fixed September 11th for trial and ruling on bail application by the protesters. This followed the arraignment of the protesters for alleged treason, mutiny, and intent to destabilize Nigeria. The 10 persons who were arraigned before Justice Emeka Nwite are Michael Aderamoye, also known as Lenny, Adeyemi Abayomi, Suleiman Yakubu, Okpeoluwa Simeon, and Angel Innocent, amongst others. The defendants, who all pleaded not guilty, were arraigned on 6 counts of alleged treason, intent to destabilize Nigeria, conspiracy to commit felony, and inciting to mutiny, which is an offense punishable under Section 97 of the Penal Code. Another lawyer, Deji Adeyonju, who appeared for 3 of the defendants, faulted the treason charges against the defendants, insisting that they only participated in lawful and legitimate protest against hardship facing them.
We just want to speak to one issue. Yeah, we just want to speak to one issue of the learned senior advocate for the prosecution, where he had already passed sentence and ruling on some of the defendants. And this is wrong. This is media trial, and this is media publicity. And for us, very simple. We are happy that finally protesters have been charged. Unfortunately, instead of charging them for protest, the Tinubu government has charged them for terrorism. What an irony of some sort. When Bello, Tuje, and other terrorists and bandits are on TikTok having fun and abducting people in a country, in a country where, we are battling insecurity, where we should be arraigning terrorists and bandits. Not even one terrorist in the last 1 year have been arraigned. The protesters have been arraigned. I don't know what they are afraid of. So we are happy that they have been arraigned, and we will not see any other thing that will be sub judice, and we will leave the rest for the courts.
The defendants are equally accused of levying war against the state to intimidate President Bola Tinubu by attacking and injuring police officers and burning police stations, government buildings, and private buildings. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
In the meantime, the Nigeria police have declared Andrew Wine, also known as Andrew Povich or Drew Povey, a British national, wanted for allegedly orchestrating a plot to overthrow the government led by President Bola Tinubu. The announcement was made by the force spokesperson, Assistant Commissioner of Police Olumuyiwa Adejobi, at the force headquarters in Abuja. Kekalamo Okere has more.
According to the force public relations officer, Muyiwa Adejobi, Wayne is accused of renting a space at Labour House in Abuja under the guise of operating an Eva Valley bookshop and establishing Stars of Nations schools to cover up his subversive activities. The police claim that Wayne was involved in planning and financing the August protests, which were part of a broader conspiracy to destabilize the country and instigate an unconstitutional regime change.
Intelligence gathering, and collaboration with other security agencies, 10 suspects have been apprehended who received substantial financial backing from foreign sources to destabilize the country. Investigations have identified a foreign mercenary, Andrew Wine, also known as Andrew Povich or Drew Povey. The man has many identities. A British national who built a network of sleeper cells to topple the government and plunge the nation into chaos.
Adejobi further revealed that Documentary evidence and confession have linked Wayne to the violent protests, stating that he provided operational guidance and financial support to those involved. He added that this development follows the recent arrest of Polish nationals in Kano by the Department of State Service during the protests, who were later released after being detained for weeks.
He and none of his local coordinators, one Loki, in his opinion, have accordingly been declared wanted, and global hunting for them has commenced in connection with this investigation.
The police have also summoned Comrade Joe Ajeru, president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, regarding Wayne's activities. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Thank you, Kikaloma, for following that development for us there. Barring last-minute changes, the People's Democratic Party, PDP Governors Forum, and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, may be heading for a showdown as the party's National Working Committee meets on Wednesday. Governance in Rivers has been partially affected for months due to the ongoing political conflict between Wike and Governor Siminalayi Fubara, both of whom are PDP members. Despite efforts by President Bola Tinubu and other prominent figures in Rivers State and across the country to mediate, the conflict persists, with the factions engaging in multiple legal disputes in Port Harcourt and Abuja courts. In a different development, former Governor of Plateau State, Senator Simon Lalong, has criticized the delay in appointing a new minister from the state, urging President Bola Tinubu to address the issue promptly. Speaking at an APC stakeholders meeting at the party secretariat in Kalwa House, Jos, Lalong, the senator representing Plateau South, highlighted the state's 7-month absence of federal representation since he resigned his ministerial post to join the Senate. Former Governor of Ekiti State, Segun Oni, has officially announced his withdrawal from active partisan politics. Addressing journalists at his residence in Ifaki Ekiti, Idosi Council area ahead of his 70th birthday, Oni emphasized that his decision to step back is not driven by immediate political ambitions, but by a desire for a more reflective and less active role in politics. Ahead of the Kaduna State local government election slated for October 19, a coalition of civil society organizations has opposed the reversal to manual voting by Kaduna State Independent Electoral Commission. Addressing the joint press conference, Lawrence Obewe, the founder and national coordinator of Reset Nigeria, and Bako Abdul, the national president of Campaign for Democracy, on behalf of other civil society organizations, also expressed deep concern over the proposed scrapping of the State Independent Electoral Commission and the plans to centralize local government elections either under a new centralized body at the federal level or the Independent National Electoral Commission as being proposed. Let's turn to Nigeria's southeast now, where Abia State government has concluded plans to train 2,000 master trainers for teachers in the state. Commissioner for Information, OK Kanu, disclosed these while briefing journalists on the outcome of this week's Executive Council meeting presided over by Governor Alex Oti. He stated that 200 teachers have passed through the training, while the remaining 1,800 would have theirs soon. He said Abia State Basic Education Board has screened, interviewed, and shortlisted 40 teachers for training under the Abia State School Enhancement Team program. You're watching Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. When the news returns, Super Eagles camp bubbles as Lukman, Aino, Ekon, and the others arrive in Uyo. Details of these and more will come your way shortly. Plus, we will join our correspondent on the ground here in Abuja, who will be giving us a pulse of what the fuel scarcity situation is like. All of that will come your way after this break. Please don't go away. This is Global Television bringing you a live broadcast of the Midday News with Uyi Agumofwewe. Thank you for your time with us. Let's turn to business now. Imo State Governor Hope Uzodimma has signed a memorandum of understanding with Orashi Electricity Company Limited to generate, transmit, and distribute electricity to all 27 local government areas of the state. The governor says his administration's priority is to ensure that Imo people enjoy steady electricity. Amarachi Ibe has details.
Governor Hope Uzodimma says the signing of the memorandum shows how important the project is to his administration, reiterating his commitment to ensuring uninterrupted electricity to enable residents of the state do their business, while urging the Orashi Electricity Company to live up to expectation.
We will do our best to live up to the responsibilities expected of us in this agreement, both at the state level and the local government level. And in return, we also expect our partners to do the same thing.
The governor, however, urged Imo State Ministry of Power to put all necessary arrangements in place to ensure that by the end of the year, there is constant power in the urban areas in order to revitalize aligned industries, start new ones, create jobs, as well as improve on ease of doing business index.
Imo State needs power. We need to revitalize our industries. We need to bring more industries into Imo State. We need to create jobs. We need to introduce ease of doing business. And at the end of the day, we want Imo State to be returned back to what is used to know, what is known for, tourist headquarters of the region.
High point of the event was signing the memorandum with Orashi. Upon completion, the project will create more jobs in the state. Governor
National Petroleum Company Limited has been given the sole buying rights of the premium motor spirits, also called petrol, to be refined by the Dangote Refinery and Petrochemical Company. The information gained prominence as the refinery is reported to have begun processing petrol after delays caused by recent crude shortages. The $20 billion refinery on the outskirts of Lagos began operations in January without output of products including naphtha and jet fuel. With a capacity of 650,000 barrels per day, Africa's largest refinery promises to ease oil producer Nigeria's costly reliance on imported oil products. In the meantime, the president of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has presented the first sample of premium motor spirits, otherwise known as petrol. Dangote made this presentation in a broadcast at his refinery situated in the Bejuleke area of Lagos State. The 650,000 capacity refinery engaged in a test run of the product. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries' oil output fell in August to its lowest since January. The survey released stated that the unrest that disrupted Libyan supply added to the impact of ongoing voluntary supply cuts by other members and the wider OPEC alliance. The survey disclosed that OPEC pumped 26.36 million barrels per day last month, down 340,000 BPD from July, stating that this was the lowest total since January of the current year. The federal government has denied a report suggesting that the Ministry of Petroleum Resources ordered the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, to sell fuel at 1,000 naira above the approved pump price. The report claims that the Minister for Petroleum Resources Oil, Hanneke Lokpobiri, gave the NNPCL the directive. Dismissing the report in a statement signed by the Special Advisor, Media and Communication to Lokpobiri in Emeka Okafor and made available to newsmen, the federal government declared that the report was concocted and ill-conceived to sow discord and confusion in the oil industry. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, and the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, as well as the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, have joined forces to streamline the bank recapitalization process, aiming to enhance the efficiency and transparency within the financial sector. In a statement made available to the Director General of SEC, Momotimi Agama highlighted that the collaboration is part of a broader effort to reduce the time to market for capital raising activities, making the Nigerian capital market more attractive to investors and issuers alike. Agama explained that several initiatives had been implemented, including the introduction of an electronic filling system, streamlined registration processes, and updated regulatory frameworks. The federal government, through the Nigerian Ports Authority (NPA), has handed over the Tinkan Island Water System facilities to Sandals Tinkan Water Project Limited after it signed a 16-year concession agreement with the firm, valued at 11 billion naira. The NPA disclosed that the concessionaire would use this year to build and rehabilitate the facility before the agreement would officially kick off on September 1, 2025. Speaking during the handing over ceremony at Tinkan Island Port Complex, the managing director of NPA, Dr. Abubakar Danshoho, explained that the concession agreement was born out of necessity, noting that most of the water treatment plants at the port have gone moribund for decades. Let's turn to business now. Away from business and look at the foreign scene for you. As African leaders gather in Beijing this week for the Triennial China-Africa Summit, Chinese President Xi Jinping may have one thing under his belt to boast about: satellite TV. Almost 9 years ago, President Xi promised the heads of states attending the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation in Johannesburg that China would provide over 10,000 remote villages in 23 African countries with digital TV access. With over 9,600 villages having received satellite infrastructure, the project is now nearing completion. Multiple cars traveling in the motorcade carrying Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, the Democratic candidate for vice president, crashed in Milwaukee. Walz was not hurt. The crash happened on Monday. The cars involved were at the rear of the motorcade and were carrying members of the press who traveled with Walz. Reporters say it were violently thrown forward after being hit from behind, sending their vehicle into the car front of them. At least one person was injured. Pope Francis has arrived in the Indonesian capital, Jakarta, kicking off the longest and furthest trip of his tenure to the Asian-Pacific region. He is expected to highlight environmental concerns and the importance of interfaith dialogue during the 12-day trip, which will also see him travel to Papua New Guinea. Singapore and Timor-Leste, the only one of the 4 countries that is predominantly Catholic. And now to sports. Unsettled Napoli striker Victor Osimhen is on the verge of joining Galatasaray after the former Italian champions and the player agreed to a loan move to the Turkish Giants. After his failed move to Chelsea, the 25-year-old still has a lifeline of moving out of Napoli as the Turkish transfer window closes on September 13. Super Eagles captain William Troost-Ekong, Atlanta forward Ademola Lookman, and England-based Quote Ola Aino, Semi Ajayi, and Taiwo Awoniyi, as well as Wilfred Ndidi, are among the early arrivals at the camp for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers against Benin Republic and Rwanda. The players reported at their Uyo camp ahead of the 2 fixtures, which will see the team host the Cheetahs of Benin Republic on September 7 at Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo, the state capital, before facing Amuvabi in Kigali 3 days later. According to a media team, only 11 players have arrived in camp as of the time of filing this report, with more players expected to join the camp. Well, the more the merrier. Incidentally, that's all we have for you on the media news, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Just a quick reminder that Global Television is live on DSTV, channel 365, Star Times 276, and free to air on Night Concert. Kindly follow us across all of our social media platforms using Global TV NG, as well as other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Uyi Agumofwegbe. Thank you very specially for watching. Coming up shortly